Hi, I'm Rohas Nagpal, and in this video I'm going to walk you through public key encryption using a very simple to use software called GPG. The first step, let's generate a key pair for ourselves. We enter our name, email address. Now one thing to remember here, this email address is not going to get verified by any service. So you could actually end up entering somebody else's email address here also. Now if we click on upload public key, what's going to happen is once our key pair is generated, our public key will be then uploaded onto a public key server so anybody in the world can search for and download our key. Of course, you must remember that your private key is not going to get uploaded. Now here we enter a passphrase. Now it is recommended that the passphrase should be at least 10 to 12 characters long and should contain capital letters, small letters, numbers and some special characters. Now, since this is just a demo, I'm going to keep a very simple password. And there, that's a warning which says short passphrase. So it says that you have entered a short passphrase. This is not recommended. A passphrase should be at least 8 characters long. So you could click on enter new passphrase and enter a better one, or just continue with this. There it says that it needs to generate random bytes. So here it is better that while the generation is going on, you move your mouse randomly around the screen. Based on that, some random data is taken by your software so that a better quality key can be generated. As we can see, the process is complete. Our private public key pair has been created. Now if we look here, by default, when we set up this software, the manufacturer's public key is already here. So it says PUB, that's the public key. Whereas here it says SEC/PUB, which means our private key as well as our public key has been created on this computer. Now as you can see, it shows 4 green boxes here, whereas here it just shows 2 yellow ones. We are going to look at this in some time. Let's start by encrypting the file. So we take this image file. Now we can see there are various options available to us. We could do verification in case the file is already signed. We could sign the file. We could import the key from this file if it contains that information. But in this case, let's just encrypt this file. Now we are going to have to choose who do we want to send this file to. That person would be the recipient, and we would use that recipient's public key to encrypt this file. Now in this case, let me take my own key. Obviously, since I have the private key and public key here, I could encrypt using my own public key. Just remember to uncheck this box. We've selected here the name of the person to whom we are sending it, and we say OK. Now it says encryption finished, and this is the file that has been created. So this is the encrypted file. When we double click on it, it is going to ask us to enter the passphrase for the private key which is going to open this. So since I've encrypted using Rohas Nagpal's public key, I will have to decrypt it using Rohas Nagpal's private key. Of course, I will have to enter the password for that key here. And it says decryption finished, and it gives you that file in the decrypted form. Now in a real life scenario, you're obviously not going to use your own public key and private key. You would use somebody else's public key, encrypt the file, email the encrypted file to that person. That person would then use his own private key, enter the passphrase and decrypt your file. Now let's explore our key pair a little more. If we right click, it gives us various options. One is to export this key, which we'll see in a later step. Second is to mail our public key across to somebody, send our public key to a key server, update a particular key from the key server. We can also look at the details. So let's have a look at some details. Now here it says that this particular key pair, now this what we're looking at is the digital signature certificate. It's issued in the name of Rohas Nagpal. This is the person's email address. This is a comment which we haven't added. This was created on 22nd February 2017 at 5:35 p.m. It expires on 22nd February 2021 at 5:35 p.m. Now while creating the key pair, we had an option to set an expiry date. We didn't change the default, so it automatically is going to get over in the year 2021. So it takes that many years by default. We could of course change this, and we could choose to change the expiry date or even remove it altogether. Of course, any change we make would require our passphrase. And there we can see the key is not going to expire. Now what type of key pair is this? It's a secret and public key, both are included. The key ID, the length, this is again the default 4096 bits, we didn't change that. The algorithm, which by default was RSA, we didn't change that. This is the fingerprint of the key. So suppose you want to check whether the person looking at your public key is looking at the correct one, you could actually read out this fingerprint to him and you would be sure that it is the genuine key that he's looking at. Now the owner trust, this means how much do I trust this key? Now because it's my own key, it's obviously the ultimate level of trust. We'll look at this again in some time. We can also change our passphrase from here. This shows the user ID details. These are sub keys which we will come to later. Now let's add a photograph. So all that we need to do is we need to drag a JPG file here. So we could take there. Now that's been put as the picture for this particular file. Now if we again look at the details, we can see that this picture is there. You may have noticed that while putting this picture, it didn't ask me for the passphrase. The reason is that it is caching my passphrase for some time. And because I had just entered the passphrase while I was changing the expiry date, my passphrase was cached on my computer, so it didn't ask me for the passphrase again while adding a photograph here. Moving on, let's export our key. Now while exporting, it is going to ask us whether our secret key should be included in the exported file. If we leave this unchecked, only our public key goes. If we check this, then our public and private key go. So if you're backing up your key, then obviously it's a sensible idea to include the secret key. But if you're sending it to somebody, you would uncheck this. So this is what your key pair looks like. This is the public key. And this is where the private key begins. Moving on, let's try to look up a key from a public key server. And we say search key. Now we can see that it has found 4 keys belonging to Rohas Nagpal. The first one is the one which we created on 22nd Feb. Another one which I had created on 22nd Feb as a demo. Here we see a key which I had created on 16th September 2016 with a slightly different email address. And here we can see a key which I created on 1st March 2002. That's 15 years ago. Well, that key is still safe and sound lying on a public key server. Of course, using a different email address which I used to use at that time. Now I could simply select which are the keys that I want to import and click on the retrieve key. Please remember, these would only be the public keys, not the private keys. Now let's try to look up somebody else's key. So let's say I'm looking up my daughter's public key. I enter her email address and I say search key. There it shows me her key, which I can then retrieve. There, the import has been successful and I have her key. Now if you notice here again, it is just marked as 2 yellows rather than 4 greens. So what we could do is, we could right click this, have a look at the details. Now here there is the owner trust. So if I say that I trust this key to the ultimate level, immediately there it has become completely green, which means now I have indicated that I totally trust this key and it shows up in green, and I can now start using it for verifying documents that Sanya may have signed and sent to me. Signing a key is fairly straightforward. We just say sign file. We select which private key we want to use. As of right now, I have only one private key, that's for my own address, and I say choose key. Of course, I enter my passphrase, and the file has been signed, and this is what it now looks like. Now I could send this to somebody else. Verifying a digitally signed file is fairly straightforward. Let's presume Sanya has sent me this signed file. I simply right click on it and say verify signature of file, and there it shows me that it's been signed by Sanya Nagpal. This is her email address, and it shows that her key as per my computer is Ultimate Trust. As we can see, using GPG is very straightforward. Just a couple of points before we sign off. If you feel that your private key has been compromised, you can simply revoke your key. All you need to do is click revoke key, and the revoke key would also get uploaded to your public server. While creating a new key, if you want to change some of the options, this is where you would use the advanced option. Just click on it. This will allow you to add a comment, change the algorithms which are used for your key, as well as the length of the key and the expiry date. All these options could be set from here. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this video useful.